Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach in their Ruel today. A peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, Shalom. So basically, this is going to be a quick lesson. As you can see, recent news that happened with over the weekend. Okay, another apparently shooting. Okay, that took place at the White House. Okay, and you see, okay, the suspect. Okay, you see the face of it, man. Okay, and when it comes to start with the men of great millstone. Okay, the apostles, bishops, and elders, and the brother on down have always been going into lately. When it comes to Esau Edom, when I say Esau Edom, okay, the elites mainly, okay, and the less luminary ones that doing their bidding when it comes to their government officials, such as over here in America, okay, going to paint the image or push the narrative when it comes to new face of terrorism, okay, now trying to be careful, okay, which now, more and more appear to be so-called, blackface, okay, because, you had a couple of months ago, about a month and a half ago, you had that shooting at the White House, okay, apparently shooting, okay, or assassination attempt, okay, doing the diner hall, okay, against Trump, and the individual that got caught, okay, his face, okay, his face, okay, they put up, more and more more and more, of him looking like, a so-called black man, okay, that happened a couple of months ago, but now this is the latest, okay, and it says, there's images, okay, that I got off of Google, okay, you see, who is Nasir Best White House shooter, okay, like I say, man, because all before the face of terrorism, it always been known to be Arabs, okay, or white, okay, yeah, but now they're pushing the narrative, okay, give me a minute, that is down phone. Now they, more and more pushing the narrative of the new face of terrorism. Okay? That's a lot. And all this ain't nothing but psychological warfare on them people's minds, okay, when it comes to the media, okay, the news, okay? Because that's what they want to push now. Okay, especially they seeing mainly, okay, when it comes to the tribes gathering together, okay? And and all this gonna lead to really back to the coming of racial attentions. Okay, you already know how mega people gonna feel. Okay, which is division amongst them at this time. Okay, when it comes to okay, yeah, like I said, here the last individual right here. Okay, that's on the floor. Look at him. He appeared to be what? A so-called black man. Okay, but now this the latest individual. Okay, right here. Okay. Hey, so Esau Edom got an agenda. Okay, to push the narrative that when it comes to you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, but in particular, mainly when it comes to a dark-skinned man, okay, a so-called Negro, okay, being the new face of terrorism or being a problem. Okay, and us, man, we know how majority of our people, when it comes to a lot of these, wicked ones of our people, okay, because our people they always push the narrative amongst our people or the stereotype of our people end up with a bunch of thugs, gangsters, okay, criminals, okay, that fill up the prison center, okay, the product of our environment, okay. Hey, but in all actuality, Esau Edom are the real criminals, okay. When it comes to the word criminal, okay, it goes back to crimson or red, okay. In the first crime family, we always going to being the Borgia family, okay. Hey, but like I say, now this is the new face, Okay, and we know a lot of these things are orchestrated. Okay, stages, events. Okay, like I said, to push their narrative. Okay, so you already know they're gonna push that. More and more ICE agencies, FBI task force, National Guards. Okay, especially when it comes to certain protests and civil unrest. Okay, especially when it comes to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and so that sword is about to be sharpened, man. And when it comes to the men of Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, the prophets, okay, we constantly giving that warning to you tribes, man. Okay, but we come to the understanding that 2/3 of our people gonna get caught up into the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, as the Lord gonna use Esau Edom as that sword, okay, to bring judgment. Okay, especially when it comes to this government and more pushing the unrighteous decrees, man. Okay, strict legislations, man, executive orders. Okay, to oppress you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans more. Okay, so they got to have a reason. Okay, and like I said, they use the media to spend it. Okay, to push it forth. Okay, like I say in this case, look at it. And this ain't whenever you ever heard more and more frequently that the White House being threatened. Okay, and when they couldn't come to certain shootings now lately. Okay, this like I say, this the face now they push. Okay, they're causing the chaos, man. Okay, and so that's the latest, man. Okay, let me see. Like I say, this the recent one. Okay, couple of about a month ago at the dinner, the corresponding dinner. Okay, yeah. So Esau Edom got a narrative, man. Okay, so not only they not seeing that first they need to see that they self the T rhythm. Okay, but all before for a while. Okay, the face of terrorism. I said, were the Arabs. Okay, but now this is the latest now. Okay, so-called Negroes. Okay, or the appear to be Negroes. Okay. Okay, so you see the latest news. Okay, and it's all attacky, man. Okay. Okay, cause then like I say, man, and Esau Edom media are just all messed up with it, cause the media and they story, man. Okay, and it says what 3 days ago off of Fox 5 DC, what we know about Nasir Best, Merle man accused of white, house I get shooting, and it says the suspect accused of firing shots at White House on Saturday night was shot and killed or unalive by U.S. servants. Secret Service official says. Okay, so how you a suspect? You expect somebody, whoever who did it. Okay, but eventually, the story said that they shot and killed him. So how he a suspect now? Okay, suspect supposed to be one who did it and end up fleeing away from the scene and got questions or suspect to be the one who did the crime. Okay, and so but they caught the individual to the point they unalive him. Okay, but now they still calling him a suspect. Okay, and like I said, what face they put up there? Okay, a so-called Negro face, man. Okay, and so suspect previously tried to enter the White House before a deadly shooting. Okay, and like they supposed to be the White House supposed to be, especially get into the White House, man. That's supposed to be a well secured, you know, um, a well secured place. Okay, I say. Okay, so like I said, a lot of these things are orchestrated. Okay, set up, man. Okay, but yeah, once again, the latest, the new face of terrorism. Okay, him being the latest. Okay, and recently a month ago. Okay, this individual. Okay, hey, so Esau Edom got an agenda. It really, in all actuality, it is the time of Esau Edom ready to come down on you tribes, man. Okay, and they showing it through their media, how they really feel about you. And just really show you that they are our enemies, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom. Mainly, like I said, these elites, man. Okay, that want to stir up controversy. Okay, or, stir that pot. Okay, when it comes to racial tensions, civil wars, martial law, lockdowns. Okay, because all this going to lead to is now that we got to come with more strict legislations. Okay, now we got to, worry about our government official being threatened, especially when it comes to a so-called Negro now. Okay, let me go ahead and get into the scriptures, because like I said, I ain't want to make this video too long. But us that's in the faith, we know what times we are in and how Esau Edom is moving. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we know that Esau Edom is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan that's ruling here on the earth. Okay, especially when it comes to these elites. Okay, as they're trying to forge their NWO. Okay, coming with their agenda. Okay, and this part of their narrative for their agenda. Okay, the demonize, okay, Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Like I said, you got 2/3 of our people that give them a reason, okay, but really, ultimately want to demonize the prophets, okay, the Hebrew Israelite prophets, man. Okay, that's why you're seeing now, okay, the talks of the Hebrew Israelites being extremists, okay, black identity extremists, radicals, okay, terrorism, hate group, okay. Yeah, but us that's in the faith, okay, we know eventually that we just speaking this word, man. Okay, when it comes to the true men of Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, that is this word is spiritual, okay? Not us being militant. Okay? But you got certain Israelite, false Israelite camps out there trying to push the notion of being militant. Okay? And that's what Esau you don't want. When it comes to these elites and those on down that doing their bidding when it comes to this government. Okay? But the words of Yahweh Shema Shah is what really exposes them. Okay, when it comes to these elites and this government, and when it comes to the downfall of this place, America, man. Okay, so we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, let me see. Let me get on what that's on. That scripture says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." I believe that 10. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Here you go. Yeah, 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. And that's going to us that have been called in this faith, involved in the ministry. Okay, although we're in the flesh, okay, but we're not being carnal, man. Okay, talking about being militant. Okay, now when we prophesy the downfall of Esau Edom, okay, and this his rulership, okay, is going to come by the way of Yahweh Shai, who the world called Christ, okay, which is a so-called Negro, and that's what they're afraid of, and they know that. Okay, when Yahweh Shai return with the host of angels, what the world called UFOs, the chariots, the vehicles of the angels, okay. But Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that's going to take them out of power. And at the same time, Yahweh Shai delivering the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, the 144,000 and 1/3. Okay, us that has been called. Okay, us are the hopeful elect that's involved in this ministry, starting with the prophets. Okay, but we're not in the notion of talking about being militant and taking out Esau Edom by our own strength. Okay, now this is a spiritual warfare. Eventually, that's going to be physical. Okay, especially when it comes to this place destruction. Okay, and the downfall of Esau Edom, once again, through Yahweh Shai, coming back to take them out of power. Verse 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh by Shema Shai, pulling down of strongholds. Yeah, when it comes to the truth, exposing Esau Edom. Okay, and their agenda, okay, and their purpose, what they trying to forward when it comes to the NWO, which you're gonna be disappointed, okay. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Okay, so Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, by the way of his word, okay, has got Esau, have the Edomites exposed, man. Mainly these elites and their agenda. Okay, to the point now when they come with these tacky tactics, okay, such as, what I'm going into, painting a new face or image, okay, terrorism when it comes to so-called blacks now, okay, all that's being exposed now, okay, and mainly Edomites themselves exposing each other, man, okay, that we grasp the information and able to dissect it through the scriptures and able to get a report through the word, man, okay, and show you more and more that Esau Edom is on his last stand when it comes to him his rulership, that he's about to be taken out of power, and it start with them being exposed, man, okay. That shameful spewing, man, okay. Habakkuk chapter 2, okay, verse 16, okay. But once again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man, okay. And that's why us that's in the faith, us that's involved in the ministry, more and more got to be circumspect, not only out there on the highways and byways, okay, and doing videos, okay, being seasonal, okay, with our speech, okay, but also in our everyday walk, being circumspect. Let's get to what Ephesians, because we not Esau Edom ready to move, okay, against the tribes, man, especially when it comes to those that know they're Israelites, okay. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. Okay, and that's going to a majority of people that's in a spiritual slumber, okay, that eventually Yahweh Shai is going to wake up the elect, okay. That's the light, okay, the elect being awakened, okay, through this truth. Verse 15, seeing then that we walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, okay, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So there's redeeming the times, that the days are evil, as we're approaching Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. And we know that part of Jacob's trouble, okay, we know that 2/3 of our people are going to be judged, okay, but we know that the Lord going to give Esau Edom that charge, according to Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9, okay, to bring hell on our people, man, okay, the coming of martial law, race wars, clash wars, okay, civil wars, famine, pestilence, okay, the RFID micro being implemented, okay, when it comes to the economy crashing, okay, the Third World War, okay, and like I say, Esau Edom being the head that the Lord going to set up to bring that sword, man, okay, AI, advanced weapons, AI technology, when it comes to robots, okay, biological warfare, okay, now keep it like that, okay, but us in the faith, we redeeming the time, because we know the days are evil, bad times, man, okay. Let me get this and I'll get ready to close. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. So it's high time to wake out of sleep, man. Okay, when it comes to you tribes, man. But once again, we know only the elect is going to be awakened and take heed to the truth. Because the 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off, man. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it starts with them not believing in the truth, coming against the prophets, making mockery, scoffing and scorning, okay? Following after these false gods and idol worship, going after the hedonistic customs, trusting in this place America, okay? Those of our people that talking about want to take a stand and trying to be militant, okay? They're going to fail, okay? Because once again, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, okay? But those that want to go carnal after the flesh, being militant, hey, let them be, man. Okay, they're going to be judged, man. Especially when it comes to the Lord allowing Esau Edom to come in as that flood, okay, with that sword, man. Okay. But our salvation is nearer than what we believe when it comes to us. That's in the faith, man. Okay. As we know that Yahweh Shai is on the verge to return. Okay. Like I say, so let me see if I can go back to it. Okay, so once again, more and more, they pushing the narrative. Okay, the new face of terrorism. Okay, you see it. And we'll see what'll come of us. Okay. So prepare more for more strict legislation. Okay. And look at this. White House shooting suspect identified Nasir Best, 21. He believed he was, JC. See, so there you go. Okay. So you already know they're ready to come against the camps, man. Okay, let alone the average Negro, Latino, Native American. Okay. And like I said, it is all tacky, man. Okay. So-called black man with dreads. You know how Esau feel about that. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that lesson was edifying. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.